Welcome back to the brand new year of the weekly news roundup. These are recorded live Fridays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time if you'd like to come on over here. We are also now cross-posting the videos over to Rumble, so keep an eye out on the Rumble Switch to Linux channel. And we don't have too many videos over there yet, but I'm slowly adding some. I'm not going to add the whole back catalog, but I'll add my most popular videos over there. Of course, we are also on BitChute and YouTube as well. So those are the places you can watch the content. And I'm not sure if I will have those on the end screen on these videos, but those are still coming here pretty soon. So just head on over to Rumble, search me up on Switch to Linux, and use the one with my logo. The other one is actually the master account. They do things a little bit weird over there, but that's okay. Well, today we're going to be doing privacy news, and then we will end up the clip on Sillyville. So let's go ahead and dive on in. NZBgeek. This is a I didn't get all the details about what exactly the site is for because I don't know. But it's basically related to some of the torrent sites cataloging data. Well, it turns out that they had a very major hack. Pretty much the hackers got in and stole absolutely everything, and then they added a keylogger to steal everything else. So if you were using NZBgeek, it was hacked. They said as of November, I think it was like November 20th or something. If you were using it around November 20th, change all your passwords, watch out for your credit card. They did steal credit card information on anybody who did donations. They stole logins, they stole email addresses, they stole IP addresses, pretty much the whole 9 yards. So be very careful if you are using this service that it was deeply compromised. How exciting. And the FAA finally gives us some rules about drones. There is good news, there is bad news. The good news for you privacy folks, and I am among one of those, the good news is that they are not requiring a logged database. That was in the original proposal plan. The bad news is pretty much every drone that's not a child's drone is going to have a remote ID transmitter. Now, instead of these being remote ID transmitters that reports the location to a logged database, which is a huge privacy risk, what they did is they're actually just utilizing a remote transit ID that can communicate with anything else in the area. And so this will allow the drone to communicate with any other device that is in the area, which is a little bit more privacy respecting. Now, what is the cutoff? 0.25 kilograms. That is any drone weighing more than half a pound going forward as of 2023 is going to have this remote ID tag that's going to identify the drone and give its location data. That's the bad news. Like I said, the good news is they're not requiring these to be logged in a database somewhere. And that, frankly, is at least the good news, if there is any good news among this. Of course, all the blah, blah, blah. It's all about national security and all this kind of stuff. I don't know. I kind of want to get a drone to play around with a little bit, and I'm not completely all that excited about that. Whether that will prevent me from doing that or not, I don't know. We'll just have to kind of see. But whatever that happens to be. And Apple did a hearing study. If you are using, I think this was only iPhone users. So if you are enrolled in this Michigan public health study, they're doing out a announcement here, because what happened is the app, you would grant it permissions, and then you would grant it permissions to log a whole subset of data, which included your volumes, it included your GPS data, it included how you listen to things, just a whole variety of stuff, determining the long-term impact of hearing and effects of hearing on listening to headphones and things like that. And in the study, they found out they had a bug in their app that went back and grabbed historical data up to 30 years prior to that. They did not collect anything that was outside of the initial scope, but they did collect all that historical data. And this raises, for me, interesting questions about how much historical data is being logged, tracked, and stored on the devices. That, to me, is a big deal, and that's why I use a custom phone build that does not have all of the stuff built into it for just for tracking everything. I don't want my phone to track my GPS locations. I don't want my phone to log what I'm listening to and how I'm listening to it. But apparently the iPhone will log even what volume levels you listen to music on. And that's really what they're they're collecting. They're collecting data from the Apple Health data, heart rate, and other things like that. That is a little bit concerning to me. Now, the good news is that they are deleting all the historical data. Nothing was outside of what was in the original consent, except the historical data was not in the original consent. They're deleting the data. They push an update to the app so it doesn't happen again. It still just, to me, raises a few questions about what exactly is going on with the phones. And not that if you're a follower of this channel, you kind of already know the answer to that, but whatever that happens to be worth. And our next story here, your car may be recording more data than you know. This to me is an interesting trend because our cars, we're starting to want so much stuff in our cars. Like, am I the only one that does not want a stupid giant computer screen infotainment center in my car? Like, please take that crap out. Okay. I am perfectly capable of having a little GPS up there when I need a little GPS, and typically I don't even use those. Just if I'm going somewhere odd or strange, or if I go on a long trip, I use it not just for knowing where I'm going. Mostly for me, it's a timing factor and things like that. But what they're looking at here is inside these, and this is going to be really relevant for the next section of it as well. But information in the vehicles can be used to solve crimes and for more nefarious purposes, they tell you. So the cars now, they have these infotainment systems. They have their own built-in GPS systems. They just have a whole vast array of stuff coming on in. And they are collecting a whole lot of data, and some of this is transmitted out via wireless and Bluetooth devices. Some of it's just kind of logged in there, but some of these security experts have been able to come in here and extract the data utilizing some extra tools. And in many cases now, you get these modern cars, you drive them for a few years, you sell them back to the dealership, and they don't wipe anything. All your phones are data is still in there, your contact data is still in there, the car history data is still in there. More often than not, you get these new cars and you'll have all of this data implemented into it. And this, to me, is kind of a fundamental problem. And basically, these cars are collecting way too much data, and there's no reason it needs to do this. We need to start getting some serious laws on the books to say, no, a car company cannot collect this data without a full consent opt-in option. That's all we should see. The only case of this should be a full opt-in, because I don't need the car or the company or the insurance company or anybody else having a GPS track location of where my car is. And some of these can log when you're opening the doors, when you're closing the doors, just a whole variety. And some of them have cameras and they have microphones, and they're really transmitting a whole lot of data and giving it just to the car companies. The car companies, of course, we reported this on the past, that the car companies are now going in and they're selling the data to other data mining companies because it's very profitable data. These are kind of the challenges and the problems that we are starting to see. And this leads us into our final article in the privacy section that basically asking how do your digital trails end up in the hands of the police? So, of course, anything that's collecting data is being collected and stored. This is why I like using open source options, free options, that I'm self-hosting things on my own servers, on my own, oftentimes even using my own network where I can, because I don't want any of this data out there in the world. I just don't want it out there because it's too easy for companies coming and say, oh, well, we have a privacy policy. You know what? I don't really give a darn tootin' about your stupid privacy policy. I don't want you collecting anything at all. Here's my privacy policy. You can't have my crap. Done. Okay, because then what happens is they'll have all the stuff, and then the Gestapo will come on in. They'll be like, hey, here's a warrant. You're not allowed to tell anybody what we're looking for. Try that. Somebody busts into your house and like, oh, we have a warrant. We're just not telling anybody that you're roaming through your house. Yeah, good luck with that one. But that's what happens with online data all the time. And so this guy here, it just kind of looks at several of the different ways people are grabbing data. So we have our phones, we have our cars, we have our IoT devices, we have our fitness trackers. We have all these types of things. And it goes into the idea of the keyword warrant. So a keyword warrant is the police are like, hey, Google, tell us everybody who has searched up R. Kelly's address, right? And so I mentioned R. Kelly because he's up here, the R&B star and alleged rapist. Apparently there was more going on in this R. Kelly case than I saw, because there's things in here about car explosions and stuff like this. Like, man, I mean, look into this stuff. That'd be kind of neat. But Google will come in and be like, the police will come into Google and be like, give me a keyword research. All right, Google. So give me anybody who's looked this up. Well, guys, if you're using Startpage or DuckDuckGo or something, yeah, Google's not going to have this data. So stop using Google, and definitely stop using Google if you are logged into Google. Don't be doing that crap. If you have to use Google, make sure you do it on Tor at best, or a VPN, or at least on a private window that's not logged into any Google services, because they'll grab this whole keyword warrant, they'll grab all of this type of data, and then the police were like, okay, tell us who these people are here. That'd be kind of neat. And so what we're seeing now is we're seeing the way that they can collect and store different data. Now we're going in and, looking at all these other devices, smart speakers, TVs, wearables, all these guys, they can have both incriminating and exonerating. You may be like, hey, we're not actually getting enough information here to, we're not getting enough information here to see, are you committing the crime or are you not? But hey, your voice print might be a good thing that we want to use. And they're going to tell you, hey, this is going to be good for you or not. I don't know. Ultimately, though, yeah, we are risking too much by throwing this much data into the hands of all of these people in reality. All right, we're not getting enough data. We're not getting enough information. And so it really gets into here. There's the pipeline between commercial and state surveillance is widening. You are agreeing to all sorts of things just by clicking the terms of service over here. So there's just so many things in here. Amazon, of course, they bring up Amazon. They're committing millions to racial equity groups, but they're also selling ring data to police. There's all sorts of weird stuff going on in the midst of all this kind of stuff. And so it really gets down to the heart here, where the things that we do with our devices, if these are internet ready things, if these are things that are locked down, if these are things that are communicating to other servers, we're handing up a lot of data that can be used. And I got news for you guys. You might say, well, I'm not committing crimes. Very well, you may not be. And I believe you may not be. I mean, unless you're, doing something illegal, of course. And you know who you are. But the point is, oftentimes, police aren't looking for the truth. They're looking for the person they can pin on the crime so they can say, look, we found the criminal. If your data just happens to coincide, you walked near a bank one day on your walk when somebody was robbing it. They were smart and left their phone at home, so they're basically invisible to these warrant searches, but you're walking by the bank, and then the police will pull in your records and be like, well, this guy walks by the bank every day at 2 o'clock. He must be casing the place. And then our phone records show he was there. They're just looking for a conviction. They're not looking for the truth. And that's why it's so important to not spend all of your data up into these services. So there is our thought on privacy before we get over into Sillyville. We'll highlight my affiliate today. First one we're looking at is ExpressVPN. If you are a person in need of a VPN service, and not everybody is, ExpressVPN is considered the #1 VPN right now. It's right up there with a few other good ones. High speed, high privacy, high safety, no logs. Go ahead and use my affiliate code tlm.li/EV. You can get some good old protection if you need to be using wireless networks that don't belong to you. If you need to get around geofencing or anything else like that, definitely have a look. Click on the Get Started button up here in the upper right. You have a few options. We have $100 for 12 months, $60 for 6 months, or $12.95 a month. That will help support the channel. So let's have a look over at our Sillyville news next. First up in Sillyville, Boston Dynamics robots take over the dance floor. That's right, guys. See, all they're doing is they are making sure that we are nice and relaxed around these things. They want us that's the start of the song. Let me get over here. They want us to be relaxed. We want us to be like thinking these things are cute. How amazing. It's just little cute little dancing robots. Until, of course, they pull out that RoboCop gun out of their leg and waste everybody. But here you go. You got the robot dancing. Sorry you can't hear the song it's dancing to, but yeah, I don't want a copyright claim. So, we got two of them. Oh, they're dancing it up. Let's see these two get together and do some slow dancing. Ooh. Oh, now the dog's coming in. It's like that dog is like creepy. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh yeah, baby. So there you go. There they are. Look at this. Look at this, guys. Oh, it's so desensitizing. It's so cute. Just wait until they do their dance number and come on up and kill you. Because that's what the robots are all about these days. There you have it. There's some more dance moves. Oh yeah. So there you go, Elon Musk. This is not CGI. All right. Yeah, well, you know, Boston Dynamics stuff is taking over the dance floor. Well, now we're getting to this crazy new type of dystopian world where not only is Apple, but also TikTok is removing an app after allowing people to find parties where they can go and party without masks. Dangerous stuff. The secret party app where ravers can go and rave. Okay, I'm not into rave, but the chance of a raver dying of COVID is insignificant next to the chance of a raver dying of ecstasy. Okay? Just an FYI. We shouldn't be banning this because it allows them to get together unmasked. For crying out loud. So yeah, despite over 82 million cases, 1.75 million deaths that were really gunshot wounds that we're just calling COVID. I mean, oh my Lord, guys. So yeah, apparently it would be illegal to put together something where people can get together and live somewhat old school, normal lives. In fact, if I remember correctly, there was something here, sometime in, let's see, many people are bound and determined to carry on with normal life. I think we need a little bit of normal life right now, folks. All right, we need a little bit of normal life. Unless a geriatric patient is showing up at this rave, no one's going to be harmed by this. Just an FYI. All right, Lenin was saved by capitalism. That's right. Lenin was saved by capitalism. So there are several statues still of Lenin in Russia. Many of them have fallen into disrepair. Many of them have been taken out. In this particular city, they are keeping this because it's a huge tourist attraction, and paying tourists are showing up to take photo shots with Lenin in this background. And so Lenin is saved by capitalism. Go ahead and let that one sink in just a little bit. And next we are coming up with Caviar launches pure gold AirPod Max for $1,800. There you have it, guys. If you really like, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. That's $108,000. I think I said 18,000. $108,000. I really these things have got to sound like, I better never hear anything in my life that possibly sounds better than a $108,000 pair of headphones. That's insane. I would really like to meet the person who would buy such a device. That's also insane. In reality, that's crazy. And on to our final story. Apparently, the ashes of James Doohan, I think I'm saying that right, Scotty from Star Trek, are aboard the International Space Station, and it turns out that they have been smuggled there. The family wanted to have his ashes on, I think he did as well, wanted to have his ashes on the space station. The space station kept on saying no. So it turns out, though, that one of the astronauts that went up there, who was a friend of the family's, managed to get on to the spaceship at a time and smuggle the ashes in a photo frame onto the module prior to takeoff. And then they get up there and take off, and he takes his picture with the ashes up with him. And this has apparently been up there since 2008. but it would have been a big deal, but now apparently statute of limitations is over, so nobody's going to get in trouble for it. So now, hey guys, his ashes are on the space station. I don't care what y'all wanted. So apparently he has flown more in space than any other person because he's been chilling out on the space station since 2008. He flew around the Earth a few times on some other things, and basically, yeah, they just smuggled his ashes up. So beam me up to the space station, Scotty. There you have it, guys. There you have it. Well, that concludes our news section for today. Thanks for hanging out. Don't forget, we are now cross-posting our videos to Rumble. You can find me over there at Switch to Linux and also on BitChute as well. We will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching this video from Switched to Linux. This channel would not be possible without the backing of the program supporters scrolling on the screen now. You can be a supporter at Patreon at patreon.com/TOMM or at thinklifemedia.com. I also want to thank the open source community who creates such excellent software that makes producing this show possible. Please remember to support your software communities. Thank you, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.